our mats. We're seated nice and tall, long, lengthened spine. Just want to widen those shoulders, check in the neck. Slowly release that chin forward to feel that lengthening through the back of the head, and release the body forward over the legs. Now in this position, you should feel some kind of stretching, the lengthening and mobility across the back body here. As you stay in this position, bring your focus to your breath. Imagine the lungs and the rib cage expanding out wide to the side. And then also imagine them expanding into your back space, all that area behind you. On your next exhale, roll it up. Lengthen through the spine. Feel the height of your body. Breathe it in, same thing. Gentle release through the chin, lengthening across the musculature of the back. The hands can rest on the legs, they can rest to the side. Whatever feels good for you today. Oh yeah. And then carefully, slowly roll it up. Good. Here we're gonna lie down on our backs. So just carefully make your way down onto your mat, on your back. Your feet are flat on the mat. You have a few inches between the knees and toes. You're gonna slowly peel your pelvis up, one vertebrae at a time, to a bridge. Feel the opening across the front of the hips here. Just that mobility that you have in your spine. Try to pull that weight forward toward the knees, toward the wall or whatever is beyond your knees, and slowly release it back down. And then repeat that. Breathe it in, exhale, peel it up. Find that lift. Feel those glutes just automatically activating. The hamstrings are getting warmed up, waking up, and then slow return. We're gonna do that again, twice more. Breathe it out, peel it up, hold on to it. And slowly lower it down, and then one more time. Breathe it out and peel it up. Hold here, feel that stretch, that lengthening, and return to the mat. We're gonna roll over onto our stomachs now. So lots of just smaller opening, lengthening movements as we get into this class. So you're on your stomach, your shoulders are back, your spine is long, and here we keep the forearms down, and we're gonna just press through those forearms. Hold, hollow out the abdominals, check in on the shoulders. Can you slide them down? Breathe into it. And slowly retreat, lower it all the way back down. Inhale, shoulders slide down. Exhale, rise up, hold on to it, engage through your core. Breathe it in, long neck. And then carefully return. We'll do this twice more. Shoulders down, long spine, core strong. And last time, inhale, exhale, hold for your inhale, and lower it down. We're gonna pull the hips back to the heels here in a little child's pose position. You can kind of open those knees up a little bit wider. Feel that stretch. Release through the body. I'm going to walk my hands over just to one corner and feel kind of an opening across the back. Breathe it in, breathe it out. And then I'm going to walk my hands over to the other side. Same thing. Long stretch. Feel that side body. We'll come back to an all fours position. These are all just stretches and exercises that are going to help us kind of open our body. It's like a slow opening, right? So here we go into a little cat-cow from yoga where we're rounding into that spine, releasing the head, the neck down toward the floor, the pubic bone kind of drawing toward the forehead, feeling again that musculature, that stretch into that mid-back, the upper back, and release through your neutral spine and into your extended thoracic spine. Thoracic is just these upper vertebrae, your thoracic vertebrae, so that movement there. Try that one more time in each direction. Round it out, hollow it out. Abs are lengthening and hollowing. Head is releasing. Body is feeling the stretch, and then go the other direction. Breathe it out. Good. Set that back. Last little child's pose stretch. Roll it up. Okay, so that was our little warm-up. I failed to mention that we're going to be using some pillows later for our center and balance. So just, if you want to grab it now, if you want to grab them later, it's your choice. But we're going to go into some ab work. So it's not all just relaxing today, guys. I promise I'll give you a little workout. So we start with our tabletop legs. We're going to extend one leg at a time out long. Breathe it in, breathe it out. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We're going to add a rotation through the upper body. Keep it going. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both knees tuck in. Both extend out. Breathe out. Breathe in. You can support your head with your arm if you need it. We have 4, 3. Get lower or get higher. 2. Last one. Hold it there. We are not done. One leg high, one leg low. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. And lengthening into the back of the leg. We have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both of the legs come in. We lower the head down. We have a diamond shape through the legs. Breathe in. Rise up. Exhale. Extend it out. Arms overhead. Feet flex. Rotate the legs. Circle the arms. Lift a little higher. And bring it all the way in. Inhale. And exhale. Flex, rotate, circle, lift, and in. Should be feeling some core work by now. 3 more. Breathe it out. Good. 2 more of these. Breathe in. Exhale. Reach through it. Point through it. Lift through it. I believe we have 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Long reach, circle, pull that in. Release those knees into the chest. Gently rock it side to side. Good. So we got a warm core by now. That's at least been that's my goal for you. We're gonna roll onto our sides here. And if you have a little cushion that you want to put under your forearm, feel free to do so. We're going to come into a side plank. So my top leg is in front, my bottom leg is behind. You can have one hand on the floor if you need it. You can have your knee on the floor and you can lift and lower from there. So lift and lower from a bent leg or a straight leg. Good, so lengthen your spine, see out in front of you. If you want to add an arm, great. If you want to add a weight, awesome. Breathe with it. Good, and we're going to lift and hold here. Reach through it, long side body. You could move your arm or not. Feel that stretch through the pec. Pulling that arm behind if you want. And bring it in. And down we go to the other side. So once again, long body. Find that positioning. Extend through those legs. Weight or no weight, hand or no hand. Breathe it in, breathe it out. We have 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. We're going to stay up for this next time. Hold it there. Stretch that side body. Breathe into it. Pull that elbow back maybe. Feel that pec stretch. Whatever you want to do here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Stand here for just a little bit longer. Fill in that side body. And bring it in. And relax. Okay. Nice. Quick sip for me. And then we're going to come to a plank position. So your plank position can be all the way out. It can be knees, hands, forearms, your choice. You could put your elbows on a pillow, as long as the pillow's not too wobbly wobbles. And then extend out, find it. Shoulders are over the wrists. Hold that there. Yeah. Here we're dropping the heels away from the top of the head. We're hollowing out the abs, so we're feeling those engaged abs all the way down through the base of the pelvis. Feeling that stretch too into the lower leg. Drop your hips back if you are in your plank, so you're feeling a stretch across the shoulders and the hips and the legs, and then shift it forward. Hold that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Drop it back again. Feel that stretch. You could do this if your knees are down too. It's more child's posy. And then back forward again. Lovely. One more time. Feel it, lengthen it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Nice. We're just gonna lift and lower. 1 and 1. 1 and 1. Now you can do this with your knees down if you're doing that. Just on the knees, lift and lower. Doesn't matter where you're working from, even if you're on your forearms. Try to stay with me for this. We're going for a little endurance. Obviously, you probably recognize that by now. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Just kind of feeling how the body is responding to every small little movement. Checking in on the hips. Making sure they're not wobbling too much. Lengthening in the neck. Good. Let's lower everything down. Pull the hips back. Stretch it out. Roll out your wrists if you are on your wrist. Whatever you need there. Okie dokie. So sort of our speed round. I'm just doing all my favorite exercises that I feel just like get right in and work the muscles, since we're doing it a little bit of a speed mat round here, right? So I'm going to hold on to my weight and I'm going to lift my leg. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Now I have a fist for wrist here just because I kind of get weak into my wrist. You could put your whole body down so you're lying on your side and be on your forearm if you wanted to for this. Just like if you're feeling some neck shoulder tension, that's a great way to avoid it. Or if you have a hard time being on your knees. Then we lift up and we're gonna hold that there. Tuck the knee in Extend it out, little lift up. Tuck it in, extend, small lift. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Good, I mean, if you want to add a little bit of movement to the arm to match it, you know, have a little party with it, your choice. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, last one. Now, we're gonna turn so that we face toward our mat. You could be on your hand or your forearm. Swing the leg that we've been working out to this side here, and we're gonna lift and lower that leg. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Oh boy, guys, fill that into that side glute. 3 more, 2 more, last one, and we bring it in and relax. We have 1 more here. I'm gonna come either to full forearms or to full hands. The leg that we've been working, we internally rotate it and tuck it behind the other knee. Then we're gonna try to kick it up on the diagonal. Breathe it out, breathe it in. So you could be up, you can be down. So think the diagonal as in like the corner, be on the corner of your mat here. Try to keep the knees and toes pointing toward the floor. We have 3, 2, and 1, and we bring it in. We start this all over again, other side. If your knees are feeling it and you want a little cushion, grab that cushion. Reach the arm, the leg long, find that positioning, and then we lift and lower here. Breathing with it. Long reach, activating all the way into that leg, feeling the lengthening through the front of the body, through the abs. We have 3 more, 2 more, 1 more. Good, then we're gonna hold that leg up. If we bend it in, extend it out, lift it up. You could use the arm, do some actions with it. Your choice. We have 3 more. Just trying to breathe with that. 2 and 1. Then you slowly bring that down. We change our positioning. Take that leg out to the side here. And we lift and lower. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Nice, you guys. Straight to the side. Feel that outer thigh lift. We have 4 more. 3. Should be feeling that sensation. 2, 1. Then we're going to take that leg behind, so it's tucked behind here, and then we're going to kick that out on the diagonal, trying to get the knees and toes to still face toward the floor. It's a little tricky to do because that internal rotation, we don't have a ton of it. We have 5 more like this. 4 more. Try to keep the spine long and engaged so abs are strong. 3, 2, and 1. And we bring that all in. Hopefully your knees are doing okay. Your glutes are doing okay. We will stretch our glutes here in a moment, I promise. Okay, back to some more ab work and some bridge work, and then on to some stretching. So, abs. So let's see. We have our hands behind our head. We bring our legs to our tabletop position. Any variation of this is fine. We're going to peel up through the upper body. As we lower down, we're going to tap the heel down and then lift back up and alternate. Heel taps down, lifts back up. Try to make the action come from the hip joint as you do this rather than from the foot. From the foot, it looks like this, like you sort of just drop your knee and you're not getting the range. So really looking for that range, right? Oh shoot, I think I just mixed myself up, but I can't remember. So we're moving the upper and the lower. If you're feeling that this is a nice little warm exercise, but it's not quite the challenge, you could tap both legs down and up. You could tap the heels down and then the toes. Breathe in, breathe it out. You should feel some good range by alternating through the toes and the heels with the legs together. I mean, I'm feeling some heat. Breathe it out. 2 more. Last one. And then everything lowers down. Let's gently rock those knees side to side. Just kind of open up across the hips and the back, depending on where you were at with that. Just got to make sure all is well, right? Then we're going to go into our bridge work, so our feet are side by side, a few inches between the knees and toes. Arms can be rested, head is lengthened. Peel up to that bridge. Now we were here earlier, just kind of using it as a little way to warm up. Check in a little bit, see if you can open up through the front of the hips there a little bit. Feel the glutes active. Open those knees and close them. And feel the activation into the inner thighs. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Keeping the hips up here. Feeling that full activation into the legs. We have 3, and 2, and 1, and then carefully lower everything down. I want to add a little bit of arm work to this as we build. And you can, or if you don't want to, you don't have to. So we are going to lift our hips up this time. Instead of thinking of rolling through it like a pelvic curl or a sticker, just levitate those hips, let them lift straight up. Press those arms up toward the sky. Lower it down halfway and lift. Feel the release across the front of the hip. Breathe it out. Breathe it in. Good. Now we're going to continue, but we want to lift one leg to tabletop or to the sky, whatever works. We lower and lift. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. 1 more. We switch legs, other side, down and up. Good. 4 more. Breathe with it. Core is still engaging. When you exhale and lift up, engage. 2 more. Last one. Both feet are down. Our hips are still up though, right? So here we're going to open those arms a little bit and close them. Open and close. Now we're going to open our knees, lower our hips halfway, and close and lift. Open and close. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Hold it here. See if you can stay with me. Now lift your heels. Do a little tricep press. Lower your heels. Heels lift and lower. Heels lift and lower. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Now we're going to keep our heels lifted. We're going to walk our feet in a little bit. We're going to walk our feet out a little bit. In a little bit. Slowly tricep pressing out a little bit. In and out. Good. 1 more time in. 1 more time out. Heels down. Lower the spine. Lower the arms. and set those weights away out of your path. Hug your knees into your chest and feel that stretch into the hips. Maybe you felt it a little bit into the inner thighs. Feel it into the hamstrings. Stretch, stretch, stretch into the hammy hams. All right, my people. Point those toes up toward the sky. Relax the upper body. You can also do this with knees bent. I'll show you with knees bent first. You're going to lift the hips and lower. Breathe it out. Breathe it in. Oh, my mouth is so dry today. Keep going. Little lifts. Good, yeah, so this could be straight legs. And it's okay if it rocks here. Sometimes I'm like, no rocking, and sometimes I'm like, it's okay. So it changes depending on the focus. And then finish with that. Guess what? The mat portion of our workout is done. So if you want to grab your pillows, I have big pillows here. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see them. Freaking big pillows over here. So grab yours. If you're like, no, Martha, I do not want to stretch. I do not want to relax. I came here to work hard. Then, by all means, you can go and look up one of our videos that has just a little bit more workout in it, more focus on full body strengthening rather than full body stretching and releasing. So really, your choice, right? So as you're in this position, if you can put more of this mid back up and over. And now I brought this other little cushion with me because I like to support the neck here so that if I release my head back, I have somewhere for it to go. And then the arms are out to the side. Now in this position, you should feel a lot of opening into the front of the rib cage, the front of the chest. The arms out to the side feel a stretch like from the chesties across the shoulders and down the arms here. So we're getting into our pec muscles a little bit, feeling that sternum nice and open. It's like, this is the ultimate Care Bear stare position. It's just like out into the world. And I think if you've been with me in classes before, I like to use that image, but like, especially right now, like bring that Care Bear stare out into the world. I think we need to bring the Care Bears back for COVID. They could do a lot of helping. So just here, we're hanging, we're stretching, we're releasing. You don't want to feel any tension into the neck. So if you're like, oh, I have some tension there, then just adjust your pillow so that you're getting some support in the neck and feeling that stretch still. Because all should be well in the body. Now, we're going to change the position of the arms. They can reach overhead by the ears, kind of increasing that weight and that pull to the floor. If that doesn't feel good, you can reach the arms up toward the sky and feel kind of the fingertips are reaching toward the sky, the scapula spreading wide. You can circle them down by the hips and around, just really filling out the way the musculature pulls through the shoulder, where you may have range, more or less of it, letting the spine really just open and relax. You could even bend into the elbows and just slow movement of the arms, even if it's across the body, going to stretch that way. Or if you just find one position that you love and you want to stay there the whole time. We're going to stay here for another 10 seconds. It should feel marvelous. Okay, nice, my people. We're carefully going to come upright. Are you still with me? Did I lose you? Here, we want to go into a little bit of a side body. going to drape the body over the top of the pillows, and then you can still rest that head, and the arm can reach up and over by the ear. Your top leg, you're going to keep it bent. Your bottom leg, you're going to extend it long so that your top knee just drops down to the mat there. And then once you have that, we're going to take that top arm and we're going to rotate back. Now, if you need to just hold your head in your hand and just give your head some support, do so. You should be feeling a little bit of, or a lot of rotation from the pelvis through the spine all the way up across the shoulder. And this leg pulling to the floor just kind of helps anchor us. And then carefully release out of that. As we make our way to the other side, we're first going to stop in a little child's pose. So drop those knees down and those hips back. I'm going to drape my arms over the top of the pillows and let my head drop to the floor, allowing the shoulders to really open here. My knees are kind of wide, which means just more space for the hips and the back. You can kind of shift side to side, feel that release. And then carefully we'll reset to go the other direction. So then again, you're draping the body across the pillows. The bottom leg is straight, the top leg, the knee is down to the floor. You may have a pillow that you're supporting your head with. You might have a hand. The arm is going to reach up and behind. You can follow that with the focus a little bit, looking toward your fingers, feeling that stretch. Whatever feels good, a little bit of exploration here into that stretch. And try your best to give into gravity, to resist in the tension. Maybe you're feeling tension across the neck. Maybe you're holding your knee, your leg up. Can you let that go? Really just dropping back, imagining all the rotation happening in each of those vertebrae. Breathe in and carefully, slowly fold that back in. This is our where we get to move ever so slowly. We pull the hips back to the knees a little bit. Now this time, instead of dropping the hips back onto the heels like we do in a child's pose, we're going to keep them up. So you may need to walk your knees back a little so the hips are up, but the forward reach is very much like that child's pose position. So hips are up. Arms are forward. Stretch it out. So here we've really gotten a lot of mobility moving across the shoulders and the hips. We're going to take one leg back behind. So I'm going to take a little bit more weight onto the forearm and lift that leg behind me and find that stability. Now if it feels like you need to get a little closer, then get a little bit closer. Check in on the hip, not rotated, but pointing down toward the floor here. And then just kind of hold and stabilize. If you don't want to be on your pillows because you want more support, you can just put your hands down. You'll have just a little bit more stability. Good. Nice. And you're going to bend that knee and just kind of lift that foot up a little bit. Try to open to the front of the hip. And then lower that down. And so we go to the other leg now. Long leg, lift it up, lengthen spine, hold and balance here. The wobbliness of the pillow just gives me just a little bit more balance challenge, which is what I want. But if you want less, remember, move the pillows out. Then we bend into that knee. We're going to try to lift that knee up a little bit. Check in on the hips, the spine, and feel the activation and that stretch and that separation through your pelvis, along with your little balance here. And bring that in. Pull your hips back. Just one last time into your child's pose, stretch it out. Whew. Okay, make your way upright. I feel my hair is starting to get floppy. That's what you get when you take a centering balance class, right? That's what you get when you start stretching. So I'm going to move my pillows over a little bit. Now you can sit cross-legged here. You can sit kind of in a butterfly position. I'm going to put this pillow underneath my hips here just because a lot of us get some tight. Like if you get tight in your lower back, when you're in this kind of a bent knee position, that just kind of helps. You can even get a little bit more lift than I do. So I'm going for a butterfly. I'm going to reach my arms out in front of me and release the spine over here. And focus in on that stretch that's coming into each of my hips, as well as that release that you may be feeling onto the inner thigh or across the back. Oh, should feel nice. We're going to stay here for a good extra more, maybe 10 seconds, trying to feel just the way that the spine releases, the way the body kind of gives into gravity over time. Should feel, I don't know, sometimes people like this and sometimes people are like, oh, this is a tight position for me, so it's hard to be here. So we're all structured a little bit differently. You're gonna reach it up and over now. So we got a long side body stretch. Try as you're in this position to not let the hip come up with you, but to keep the hip down so it's your sits bone that's connected to the floor there, and feel that. Then we're gonna rotate so that we're placing both hands down, we're kind of rotating across the spine. We're hovering off the floor. And we're gonna slowly walk our hands all the way around to the other leg. Keep that rotated position. Try to keep the tailbone, the sits bone still rooted down. Feel that stretch into kind of that low back. These are our QLs back in this area, amongst other things, but they are some of the muscles that make up that low back area. Then we go up and over, long stretch. Just my hair gets in my face here. Lovely long reach. Okay, bring it up. Lift the chest a little bit because I know that can be a lot of stretching through that lower back. So we don't want to overstretch, my people. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is get my band or like a long sleeved shirt or a strap, you know, or a belt, that kind of thing, right? So I'm pretty sure I have my TheraBand here with me. And we're going to get into some stretching through the legs. So I'm just going to put my head on these pillows, you know, because why not, right? They're here. Have a quick sip. So that we're in a comfortable position. That's basically the goal. Take the band over the ball of the foot there, if you have that ability to, you know, just anywhere on the foot if you need. And then we're going to keep this leg long here, up to the sky. This other leg, you can keep it knee bent. It's a little bit more protective, stable of the lower back. If you extend it long, the hip position may change. It could pull into your lower back a little bit more, which is fine. Just so if you're in this long leg position, you feel like it's pulling into your back, then bend the knee, place your foot flat, and you'll feel a little bit more anchored. And then we're going to hold this stretch, obviously, as we are. Now, I just put a tiny, tiny bend into my knee because otherwise I sort of start to drop into this hyperextended position and lock out, and then I don't feel like I'm accessing the musculature of these hamstrings as much as I could be. We are in a parallel, but we're gonna rotate externally and then stay here and see if we can just keep holding that stretch. So it may feel a little tight into the hip socket. So the top of your thigh bone, the femur, has like it's like a ball and socket joint. So like the head of it is like a ball, and then your pelvis. Sometimes I can't think of the words. Your pelvis is like either it could be like a little shallow bowl. It could be like a deeper bowl with smaller rims. So when your thigh bone is rotating inside of the hip socket, it really depends on the structure of your hip bone as far as some of that flexibility is concerned. So sometimes we think, oh, I'm not flexible because my muscles are super tight, and that may very well be the case. But also part of that is just the size and shape of the bone, your femur, the head of your femur inside the joint of your hip. So sometimes that's beyond anything you can do. You just created that way. So I've gone into an external rotation here and let the leg drop out to the side. And you can kind of play with what feels good out wide, letting gravity kind of pull into that inner thigh a little bit. You can kind of hold it and draw it toward your forehead a little. Really playing and experimenting with where you want to feel that stretch. My muscles always do a little shaky shake here as they get deeper and deeper. So if that happens to you, that's pretty normal. Just try to let it happen. And then we're carefully going to release over to the other side. And everything here is just kind of done slowly since we have put a lot of stretch and pull across the muscles through the hip and thigh. We want to go gently, right? Be gentle to the body. Now you, with your leg across the body, you could have your hip off the floor. You could keep it on the floor, and feel free to experiment with that. Oh yeah. How's that feel? I know some people are watching this today, Friday morning, as I'm making this. And some of you are going to watch this another time. Excuse me, I'm yawning. But hopefully whenever you do get into this, it's a nice stretch into whatever you're headed toward. For me, that's my Friday, my weekend work, all that stuff. We're going to switch to the other leg. Extend that leg up, find the lengthening through the back of the thigh there, and just try to breathe into it. You'll find the muscles kind of start to release after a little bit. Just the nature of our bodies. Oh. Still keep breathing. Then we're going to externally rotate so that we're in sort of that ballet turnout position for a moment. And that may change what you feel through your hamstrings. Oh goodness. It is true that if you do not work your flexibility, you start to lose it. So it's good that we're doing this today, right? Try to reclaim some of that. Open up the joints a little bit. Try to relax and release a little bit. Then we're going to draw the leg away to our external rotation. I have to just move this a little bit because there's a wall here, obviously. Whew. This side is shaky shakes for me. I don't know how it is for you guys, but just try to breathe it in, breathe it out. Let those muscles wake up. Oh. Breathe into it. Let that hip, the opposite hip, settle into the floor. Oh boy. Then we trot across the midline the other direction and just let it settle into that stretch. We have just a few more minutes together, my people. So keep enjoying this stretch. And then we're going to go into our figure 4 stretch for the hip and glute area. Because you all know we need that. If you feel some sensations moving up through the leg, beyond the knee, into the heel, the foot, that's pretty normal. There's a lot of, there's many muscles and many like nerve points and things that you're moving across, as well as the joints. So you're moving from this hip across the knee and to your lower leg. So if you're feeling sensations all the way down the leg, that's pretty normal and to be expected. Okay, so going into a figure 4 stretch here, you can just cross the ankle at the knee, lift the leg up and hold that. If you want some assistance, you could put that band just kind of around the foot there a little bit for some anchoring and gently press the knee away. It's really, you know, like that might feel more cosmetic than anything. You just want to find the place that feels good for you. And here we're just getting into that hip glute area. Flex that foot as you gently press that thigh away. Tight, 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 yeah? Then we're going to switch to the other side. And same thing, the foot is flexed. We're pulling that other knee in and then gently pressing the thigh away. Opening up that hip, getting that stretch into the glute medius minimus, and especially into that piriformis. If you've heard of the piriformis, the piriformis is one of the muscles that's you've got 6 rotators in your hips. Rotators meaning muscles that rotate your thigh bone. And the piriformis is one of them. If you have had any sciatic issues, getting a stretch into the piriformis can often help alleviate that tension. Sometimes it's really, everybody is different, as you're aware by now, but the sciatic nerve, like crosses is like next to that piriformis. And in some cases, the sciatic moves through the muscle. So it is not uncommon to have that happen, which just means that like when the muscle of the piriformis gets tight, then it just presses into your sciatic, which then the nerve kind of shoots that nerve sensation down through the back of the leg. So doing these like hip glute stretches is really good for you guys that do have issues with your sciatics. Okay, my people, it's been 50 minutes. Our time together is done. I hope that you're feeling good. We got a little workout, a little stretch, and you can be on your way with whatever is next for you in your lives. So thanks for joining me. Hope you guys are all doing well, and I'll talk to you next time.